Welcome to Broad Ideas. Hello, Rob and Olivia.
Hello.
Hello, Rachel.
Today, you guys, Emily Deschanel and Carla Gallo from Boneheads, their Bones Rewatch podcast, join us.
The Bones Rewatch podcast, join us?
Boneheads, their Bones Rewatch podcast.
We got 2 boneheads on the podcast today.
4. 3.
Yeah, true. 4.
Let's bring them on in. It's kind of crazy to go back and watch yourself that many years ago.
Yeah.
It's insane.
How is it feeling?
It's feeling good. It's fun to do with Carla. I mean, we just have, we're friends.
Yeah, we're friends. So I was like, what are you going to say? No, what are you going to say?
We're friends, and she's never watched the show until she came on. Because
I didn't come on till season 4.
Right.
So, and then I recurred. So I was like in and out.
Yeah.
And so I haven't seen any of these episodes. So it's like kind of weird. Because
Yeah.
then some of it's plot stuff. Like I'll be like, that's crazy. I actually really thought that was the killer. So I'm just like a fan watching it.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I also, it's very funny for me. Because I also met her at the show.
Okay.
So I kind of met professional Emily.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then once it was over, I met like real Emily.
You met the real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which are very different. I mean, some similarities, but very different.
Wait, that's so interesting.
Yeah. I want to hear about that.
Yeah, I want
What's
to know
the
both.
difference?
I want to know
I want to know both
Emily.
Emilys.
Emily.
I'm very serious.
Oh my gosh.
Really?
Very friendly, very welcoming, very really, thoughtful and championing. Like everyone, I had a thing where people thought it was my fault that I had booked something else and I wasn't available and they had to change things. And so this is a total side story. I can't.
I barely
you don't
remember
this.
this.
Yeah. So
That's kind of ringing a bell when you say
she's
that.
very moral. She's a very moral.
I love
person,
that.
Okay. And so she was like in the Makeup and Hair trailer one day, and she's like, "Hey, I know that this thing happened where you booked this job. Whatever it was, she said it in the way that was like what everyone else was saying, and I was like, actually, I wasn't pinned for this at all, and I got a job, and then they came to me and assumed that they could have me, and she was like, oh, that's not what they're saying. And she called the producers. And she was like, I just need you to know. And it didn't change it. It just was.
Well, it changed how people are seeing what happened.
That doesn't explain how she was at work. It does, but it doesn't. But how she was at work was working on her lines constantly, super friendly, but super focused. There wasn't, I remember watching her text her friends and I would be like, that's good. She's maintaining friendships. Because she was so this steam train that just was going. And then when the show ended, she'd be like, hey, happy birthday. And I'd be like, how did you know it was my birthday? She just was like a normal person. Was like, well, yeah, we're friends. And I was like,
I had to stick up my butt.
You did?
I mean, yeah.
Wait, you had to stick up your butt?
You would say it. You would say it because and I say it, we also, we're so trained on, how...
Oh, that.
The forensics
Oh,
on
yeah.
the show. We had, these dead bodies, and we're like, we were trained, you have your gloves on, and you do this, and then if you touch anything else, you have to take those gloves off and put another pair of gloves on.
So she would correct people.
So I would go around correcting everybody about...
Yeah, she'd be like, you actually you touch the microphone and then you actually put your hand on the pillow. And I'd be like, okay.
I
Part of me was like,
appreciate that.
It's a TV
I
show.
appreciet that.
But I know, no. I was like, it's a TV show.
Yeah.
But there was another part of me that was like, I agree. I was like, you know what? We're going to sell.
We're selling
No,
real.
I needed you, Emily. I did a show where I played a doctor, and we had a med tech on set, okay?
Yeah.
And they do the pilot go, whatever, it's on, I'm watching TV, and I take my gloves off, how you are not supposed to take gloves off as a doctor. And I had a doctor in the room supervising.
They signed off on
and I'm
that.
literally thunk, thunk, they're like,
it takes time though too.
you have to peel it.
You're supposed to touch the outside with one finger and pull it off, and then you take your.
Everyone
hand
needs
that's
you,
clean to go
Emily.
through the other hand, and then
this is what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I
It is
appreciate that.
ingrained in me.
I know, I'm not
And
surprised.
putting them on and taking them off is it's one of my.
We
One
spent
of
a lot
my
of
skill
time.
sets. It's on my resume.
We spent a lot of time putting on and taking. That was a big, and the number
Gloves
of
were a
gloves
thing.
that we went through on that show.
Oh yeah, it's very wasteful.
Very wasteful.
Wait, but how much fun? First of all, that show 12 seasons?
Yeah, 12 seasons.
That is so many seasons.
So many
It's
seasons.
a lot of seasons.
That's a lot of
many
seasons.
see?
4.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
4.
Wait, that was such a
It's
impactful show. Like it
4
was such
seasons.
in the zeitgeist. Like it was so there and influential. Like that's crazy.
4
Both was
seasons.
skating by just
People
watch
love
it,
that
but it
show.
wasn't in
It wasn't,
the
talked
world.
about
It wasn't talked. I mean,
the way OC
eventually
was.
it would be in other shows people would mention or
Yeah.
stuff, but it wasn't I feel like the OC was much more influential.
They were wearing bikini tops.
That's the that's the
we
difference.
didn't have gloves.
You know what I mean?
Right. Well, you think that would last a long time? That would keep it going for a long time.
Yeah.
No, but that's to be on a show for that many seasons, though, and the amount of
Yeah.
work you had to do, and the amount of scenes you're in, everything.
Yeah.
That just sounds like a lot.
I
was
like
a
that
lot.
you kept it serious, though, that you weren't just fuck it. I've been doing this so long.
Oh, yeah.
I like that I like it when people take their job seriously.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
find that really inspiring because it's you still care after that long.
Or maybe
Yeah.
you didn't. I don't know. But
No,
you were
I
still
did.
professional.
The whole
I
time.
don't care about. I mean, I was a hostess in a restaurant
Yeah.
in New York, and I took that job very seriously. I was working up to become management in a restaurant. I had no interest in this, but I can't. If I'm doing a job, I have to. I mean, this was it wasn't that hard, but we had to have our menus all be in the right place. It was amazing how many people did not
Care?
do it or care at all.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm well, if you're doing the job, you gotta
Do it.
care.
Right.
You gotta care.
What sign are you?
Libra.
Oh, me too.
Are you?
Yeah. When's your birthday?
October 11th.
I'm the 14th.
Oh, we're
Yeah.
very close.
You guys have
Very
birthdays
close.
coming up.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
do. I thought we have to know your birthday.
Yeah,
now.
we do.
June 24th.
Okay.
Is that a
Cancer?
Gemini?
Oh,
Cancer.
it's Cancer. I don't know anything about Cancer.
I don't know. Everyone says homebody, right?
Sensitive?
Really?
Are you sensitive?
Sort of. I'm tough because I'm sensitive.
That's what I mean.
I'm one of those. I'm very tough. But then the truth is that I'm fragile.
Protecting
Because
a tender heart.
I don't think
Yeah.
of you as sensitive or fragile. I think
Tough.
of you as tough.
Yeah, my husband says I'm a Brooklyn Italian. I mean, I am a Brooklyn Italian, but
Yeah.
but he's
That's what you
she's
are.
a Brooklyn Italian. Listen, she's a Brooklyn Italian. He likes to say that a lot, and I'm I am a Brooklyn Italian. But I think I'm the person who's I keep saying I didn't really watch much of the Olympics, but I kept I would get fed clips of synchronized swimming, and it just kind of came up, and I was like, oh my. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. And it was a clip. I hadn't even really stayed with these women as they were doing
Didn't
it.
know the
And
backstory.
didn't know
how they
any-
lost their father.
I'm going to be
or
honest.
whatever.
I didn't
Yeah.
even know what country. There was no investment. I just felt really
I wish you were I saw Ray Gun and I was
no,
Really?
no. I didn't. I
That was
breakdancer.
amazing.
Yeah,
Other
that
things.
was good. That's
I didn't
moving.
even see it.
The
All
hop-
I saw was the
I just saw the
memes.
clips.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
I saw
clip. Me too.
The clips or the memes or whatever.
And then I saw she apologized or something.
She
Why was she
apologized? She did?
apologizing?
Why
Really?
did
She
you
stood
apologize?
by what she
I know,
did,
I thought
and it
so
just
too.
was her
Yeah,
own
that was
expression, which was a
her-
little different.
It was a little different.
was fun
It got rid of
entertainment.
breakdancing forever in the
Forever.
Olympics, but it was just
Is it
her-
official? Are they
Did
we're
they
just
get
not
rid
gonna?
of it?
That's
I
what
feel
they,
like I
that's
heard
what
that.
they said
We might
that
have
they're
to
not
fact check
doing
that, but
it.
I feel like it's gone now.
Yeah.
That's really bad. If you go down as the person who got a category eliminated.
Well, I
don't
think
think
it was.
her
I think there was other
entirely.
elements. to
Okay,
it.
okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Okay. They were this doesn't work.
Part maybe.
I think they were this isn't happening, which is really tragic because then it's going to be in Los Angeles where breakdancing kind of.
Well, I feel like
Popped
people
off.
from Los Angeles or the United States still could go to the Olympics no matter where it is
They can, but I'm saying it would be great.
because LA is
Yeah.
It'd be
Is
even
it? I
more
feel like it's
tragic
New
if
York.
we don't have it.
It's New York.
Probably
I mean-
in New York, it probably found. Oh,
Yeah, you, it's
sorry.
okay.
New
You
York.
are the New Yorkers.
New
Yeah.
York,
Yeah.
New York,
I think
New
New
York,
York is
Los
sort of
Angeles,
where-
any
any
New York.
country where
Yeah.
I was going country.
large country that it started
Yeah.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that's sad for all the kids that.
They're we can
Breakdance?
actually make it to the Olympics.
Olympics.
I know.
Well,
Oh, what a
maybe
bummer.
not.
Well,
so
I didn't feel
much.
any emotion watching Ray Gun.
Okay.
To be clear.
Yeah, you're just to follow
Synchronized
up.
swimming. I missed the
Synchronized
synchronized
swimming.
swimming. I
It
saw
was-
the
It's
diving.
beautiful.
It's
It's really
beautiful.
beautiful.
Missed it this
And I
time.
think it's so hard. And I think that's why I was
Yeah.
just the effort that's going into I'm always just amazed by how much effort people
I know.
I
put
don't know
into
how
things.
they do that because, think of it doing it on your
Hold
own,
your breath.
but they have to do it
Yeah.
together.
Right.
You have to,
Oh, and be perfect.
yeah,
Perfect. Even underwater.
in sync.
Because they had cameras where you could see them underwater and
nuts.
above, and it was they were all doing all the things. all the movements
nuts.
underwater were all
Like not just what you see above,
not just above,
But everything under.
Yes.
But what do you think happens in their childhood when they're like, that's it?
They tell
Like,
the stories.
This is my thing. Synchronized swimming. Like that is my goal. But don't you like wonder how that happens?
Are they
for...
swimmers to start with?
Right.
swimmers
and
to
they're
start-
swimmers and they're like, but I want to dance. But I also
Right,
want to.
but I also do dance.
Well,
Yeah.
it's
on the
not
side.
an interesting anecdote, so I hesitate to share it. My
See what I
niece,
mean about
that?
my niece is
a synchronized swimmer?
is
No.
like
I didn't know
Mark's. I mean, it's Mark's
okay,
niece,
not your sister's daughter.
No,
Okay.
my husband's niece is like on like a synchro.
In
team.
Canada?
Yeah, and
Really?
she just I think she was swimming. I think she was
Sure.
taking.
So you actually
swimming.
know. How
I mean,
this
I'm
all
like,
goes
but
down.
the truth
So she's
is,
an expert.
that's
She's
all,
an expert.
but the
Yeah.
truth is, the
Let's
end of
just
that
talk to
story
her
is just
about it.
like she likes it. Like it's not like she was really into like team sports where everyone could like rely on each other.
Right.
Like there's none. I don't even have that for you.
She's into swimming, but she couldn't do the long distance.
No,
and
I have nothing.
She was more,
No.
and she also loved dance.
no.
Okay.
She just
None
was
of it.
like, I like this.
Okay.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Makes sense, though.
Okay.
Makes
She likes it.
sense.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're born with it.
Yeah, I mean,
you can't
obviously
explain
it's
it.
just, I guess it's, like why does somebody like
That's-
gymnastics? I
That's
guess?
like Emily taking off her gloves. She's like,
Yeah.
I like this.
yeah.
And I'm good at it. Because
you're
I've
good
done
at
it a
it. Yeah.
million times.
Right.
That's why-
Probably a million times.
I'm sure.
I'm
I mean,
Sure.
200 whatever episodes. I mean,
Where are
maybe
you guys
not a
at?
million.
Like I know
Maybe, not, maybe 1,000.
you're currently watching it. Where are you?
So we did 10
Yeah.
episodes so far, and then we've had
Plus
guests.
interviews, yeah.
Right.
So we've done, I think, up to episode 10 so far.
Got it.
But we started over a year ago because that's when we were starting, and then we were supposed to because that's just when we started, and then we were supposed to drop, as the kids say. I don't know
Yeah.
if that's what you call
I don't
release.
know.
No, you
whatever.
drop.
You drop. We dropped.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
were supposed
Yeah.
to drop last year when the SAG strike, like literally the
Like-
day
like
the
the-
SAG strike,
like the day.
the SAG strike
Oh,
happened.
shoot.
And
So
like
you
we
couldn't
had
talk
no
about
idea
it.
that it would have it would be in any violation of SAG
Well,
rules
it's a
in
show that's
any
been
way.
off air for 6 years.
Yeah.
Like
No.
you
It's
couldn't
great.
promote it because you weren't allowed to talk about
Not allowed-
anything.
but
It's
They
like
they
a
said it
show
was
that was
struck
from
work.
so long ago, but it's still promoting struck
Work.
work.
But it was like, how is it struck? Because, you know what I mean? I mean, it
It's
would.
not current work. I get it.
Yeah,
now,
yeah,
but
yeah,
we
It's
didn't
bizarre.
conceptualize that
Yeah.
at all. And we were
Right.
shocked. And the lawyer was like talking to SAG. And then, like, last minute, we had to not drop out of dropping.
Yeah.
We had to hold.
We held
Yeah.
it for
We held it for a
held
year.
through the thing. And then
Yeah.
we now partner with Lemonada now. So,
Yeah. Lemonada Media kind of helped
us
us,
along.
and then they're helping. Yeah, they like they're helping us like revamp it a little bit.
Got it.
It was a little
it was
amorphous.
raw.
It was raw. It was raw.
Yeah.
A little raw
So-
when we did it. So we're getting, it was amorphous and now it's getting shape.
Yeah, it's getting
and,
shape, which is great and feeling good. And we're. I don't know. It's funny to put that much time into something and then like nobody ever hears it. You know, it started to
Yeah.
feel crazy.
Yeah,
Like people like now when I say
recorded
it to
14
people,
episodes and
I'll
no
be
one's
like,
heard them.
well, I have to do an interview for the podcast because people are like, this. You have been talking about this podcast because truthfully, the idea started
came like
3
4
years ago. Like we were, I was like, we're gonna do a podcast. Emily and I are gonna do a podcast, and that was literally before the pandemic, I think.
before the pandemic.
I think.
I mean, do you want to reenact the phone call?
Yeah, please.
Oh yeah, we like
Please.
to do this sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, but and this is just giving you insight into me
Yeah.
Yeah.
as a
We
person.
want it all.
Okay.
Hey, Carla.
Hey, how are
Hey,
you?
would you be interested in
Yes.
doing it?
Like, I am like, I'll do it. Anything. I'll do it.
She was
Please.
very game.
Yeah.
Aw.
Wait, but I feel like I was going to say something about that. Now I've just stopped the
What?
conversation.
How long? And me being embarrassed to
Oh no!
Oh.
Your character. Can we say that?
what?
Your character on Platonic, because she
Yeah.
does the show Platonic.
Apple TV.
Apple TV.
Season 2.
Season 2.
I'm filming
Who
right
knows
now.
when it's coming out?
No,
But
nobody knows.
Can you say that about your character on the show?
Can I say what thing? What thing?
The character of the podcast.
Oh
What is
gosh.
that?
Oh,
I don't know. I was like, is someone drinking something?
Oh, okay. Sorry.
oh, you
Yeah,
Oh,
the
okay.
mics don't pick it up, but it's hard for us to be like, but isn't that, there's
I
gurgling.
thought
We're
someone's
underwater. We're
stomach
synchronized
was-
swimming.
We're thinking.
Well, no,
about
I was noticing you guys together, and I was like, so this is synchronized swimming.
Oh,
That's what it's like when you have that.
nice.
It's really really nice.
Yeah, because you have that.
I mean, coming from
I
you
know.
guys.
I mean, we've
You guys,
become
like-
one.
We are like
Yeah,
one
we are
person. We
literally-
actually showed up in the same jacket.
Yeah,
No.
and I'm sitting on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we share a brain.
That's part of why I asked you what you're wearing.
Oh.
Because I almost wore, we have the same shirt. And I was like, if we show up in the same shirt, it's just too much.
Yeah.
And even if we say we didn't do it on purpose, it looks like we did it on purpose and we're lying.
Yeah.
So I was like, I have to.
It's a good thing we did not show up in that.
Well, I
And
got your
have to
text
ask-
late and I didn't take that shirt.
Yeah.
But I got your text late about what you
I know.
were.
I probably texted you when you were already gone.
I think
'Cause
I
didn't
was.
see the full. I was driving.
No,
And, you know, the
that's
text.
okay.
I
Don't you want
wanna-
to know what the shirt is?
Yes,
Though?
absolutely.
Like what kind of shirt is it?
It's a Dylan.
Oh,
Floral.
Yeah.
Mine
And we
is a
both
short
bought it
puppy.
used.
We did on real. I mean, I don't mean to be promoting, but, we
yeah,
love
let's
it.
be
We love
honest.
real.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And you have the 3/4 though, and I have that little puffy half sleeve. I have the little shorts.
Oh, I didn't realize that's what you have. Okay,
Yeah.
that's a moment for you two. A little picture.
Oh, that's true. Of us both
Yeah.
wearing it.
Yeah,
We do need to do that.
We should do it. We should wear it together.
Yeah.
Well, didn't I suggest we wear that for?
You
when we
did
went to
for
dinner?
something. Oh, to dinner.
Or was
Yes.
that something else?
No.
We
You
like to go to dinner as a foursome with two other friends. Like one of my best friends is best friends with one of her best friends.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So,
so
like,
cute.
That's
Like a
how
double
we kind of
date.
connected, and
Aw.
then she'd be like, "Oh, they're hanging out together." I'm like, "We're jealous of them hanging
Yeah,
out together."
yes,
yeah.
They'd be hanging out. But yeah, so then now we just have dinner.
We do
the
lady
four of us,
dinners,
lady dinners.
which is nice.
That's really nice.
Really,
Yeah.
like I've not really done that before. I feel like there are
Yeah.
people who will be like my group of girls, and I'm like I've never had that. I'll have like this friend, and they know each other, and when we're all at something, they talk, and they never talk otherwise.
On their own.
like
right.
that.
Yes,
Like
there's
that.
the middle friend.
Yeah, but this
Yeah.
is like where we're like, well, wait, are you and we're like keeping tabs on each other.
Yeah.
Even though you guys are so tight, and me and Clea are so tight.
Yeah.
Like
and I'm
yeah.
not, but I have hung out with Clea like once or twice.
I've
without
also
the
hung out
group,
with Melanie.
which is like I was
Melanie
gonna say like, oh, I don't
Linsky-
hang out.
Melanie
like,
Linsky, Clea Duvall. That's just so everyone's not like, who are they talking about?
I just went to eat at Stanley's yesterday.
Yeah.
That used to be Fabs
Yeah.
in the Valley.
Yeah.
And that was my first job at 16. And Clea worked there.
No.
And yes.
No, I know
Fabs.
exactly.
Do you remember Fabs?
So she lived right near there, and we
Yes.
would go get Fabs, and she'd be like, I used to work here, and we would go eat there. We would get to go from there, like chicken
No
parm all the
way.
time.
And the chopped salad. Tell me you got the
Yes, the
chopped
chopped
salad.
salad.
It was the best
Yes.
ever.
This isn't the place
Yes.
where Clea and Melanie
Not
met.
the coffee shop.
Okay,
That's
I
Buzz.
was going to say that was a
Buzz Coffee or Coffee
was it
something
Buzz
something
Coffee?
at Sunset. That's crazy.
Yeah. And
Wait, so you worked there?
I worked there. Like I think we like both worked there for 1 week together, and then she moved on and got like
like a movie.
a movie.
Yeah.
And they would put like newspaper clippings.
No.
It was like they.
Wait, how funny is
I
so
know.
nice.
And I just was there yesterday being like, this used to be Fabs.
It's
and
not anymore.
No,
huh?
it's Stanley's,
it's
which
Stanley's,
is
which
great.
is
but
great, okay.
It's not Fabs.
No.
Stanley's
It's an Italian
it's
restaurant.
in a
It's a
restaurant.
Or was.
restaurant.
Fabs was an Italian.
Fabs
Fabs
was
was
Italian.
Italian.
Yeah.
But I hadn't thought of it in like 20 years, and I went
then you just
yesterday,
brought
and
her
then
up.
you
That's
just brought it up.
crazy.
See? That's
synchronicity.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Synchronicity.
I know.
I know. Love synchronicity.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
So funny.
That is so funny.
I'll mention these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She'll know.
Met
She'll
you.
know.
She'll know. She's very.
She won't know who I am.
No?
No, because she was a big star. Like it was like Fabs. You'd go in and they'd be like, you know, Clea Duvall worked here, and I'd be like,
Ooh.
no, it was.
So
a
you didn't
thing.
overlap at all, or
I think like a week.
Oh, okay.
And then she
Okay.
booked. What was the big book? It was like.
I know there was one
But
that was
I'm
the
a
big. It was one of
cheerleader.
those like.
Was it
no.
like Can't Hardly Wait?
Yeah, it was
or-
like one of
It
those.
was like something.
She's all that. I'm just naming
She's
things
a-
that
it's
are
one
like
of
that.
those.
It was something
Something
huge.
like that.
It's
I don't
one of
know.
those, and I can't retain it because they're
10 things I hate about.
And
I'm just
one-
naming things.
That's
I
what I'm saying.
used
It was
to
one
think
of
one
those.
day they're going to be
those.
putting my newspaper clippings on these. They never did.
I have
I
the
never had a
same.
newspaper
That's-
clipping.
I have the same experience. So I grew up in Brooklyn and
Yeah.
Park Slope, and there's this pizza place that's been there since I was a kid, and Roma Pizza, and we would all go there after school, and I keep naming actress friends of mine, but my other best friend is Sarah Paulson. So we went to the same middle school together, left that school and went to the same high school together in Manhattan. But so everybody went to Roma Pizza after school. It was like 2 blocks away. It's still there, even though that neighborhood's changed so much. And they always had pictures up on the wall, but like it was like Danny DeVito, you know, it's always like, you know, like Italian guys. And then, of course, one day, Sarah's picture ends up on the wall. And I like text her. This is later, like my family still lives there. Her family for a long time hasn't. And I was like, oh my God, you're on the wall, whatever. And I don't actually remember what the response was. Like she might have been like, yeah, I know, or someone told me, or like maybe she went in. And I was just there this summer, and like we often sit like right where her picture is.
Yeah.
And there is a part of me that's like,
cool.
yeah, must be nice.
Yeah.
Because I still live here.
You're like,
and then I think
I'm
my
here,
daughter was
but
like, do
you
you want me to
don't.
tell them?
I want your
that
picture
you're
there. This,
an actress? And I was like,
no.
and she's like, but I could tell them.
Yeah.
You're an actress, and then you could put your picture. But I was like,
Oh, she probably would
no.
like,
Can you imagine if they were like,
We're good.
no thanks.
We're good. Yeah.
No.
Our wall is
It's
full.
full.
It's full.
Oh,
I see
my
that. There's a spot up there.
Several
Yeah.
spots.
Yeah.
Oh
like,
my God, that's amazing. It's like the
not
Friends
for anything.
episode where Joey wants his picture in the dry cleaning.
I don't.
yes.
That
Oh.
sounds vaguely familiar, but
Yes.
I don't know that.
We
I
know
think
a
he
lot of
ended up on it, didn't
references.
he? Or he like was
I don't
really
remember,
upset
but I
that it
remember
wasn't.
Yeah, but I feel
yeah.
like someone slept with the dry cleaner owner's wife.
to get
the
yes,
picture.
yeah, to get it up.
right?
Oh
That's
my
Something
God.
like
Something.
that.
Friends. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I'm just going back. I'm like looking at him. Like, anyone know what I'm
No,
talking
they
about?
don't know.
Yeah, anyone
Anyone
remember?
here?
'Cause
Someone
it
out
always
there
goes
knows.
back to
Someone's watched every
I think
episode.
a lot of people
Yeah.
know.
a lot
I
of
mean,
people
I've
know.
watched every
A lot of people are
episode.
listening or watching and being like,
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like,
Yeah.
I know.
I know
I know.
exactly what happened. Someone did sleep with someone.
someone did definitely
Yeah.
slept with someone on that
He
show
wasn't getting
to
it
gain
by
something.
his own merit.
No.
He wasn't
Yeah.
getting that picture. up
Absolutely
there.
not. Broad Ideas is supported by Article. I can't tell you how much I love Article. Not only do things come so fast, they are all so stylish and fit into my home perfectly, and I love the price point. I still have my favorite desk from Article. I recently have been eyeing some new couches. I want to redo my living room, and I can't wait to pick which ones. The quality and the style, like I said, are just top-notch. Article believes in delightful design for every home. And I love that they have an online-only model, so they have really delightful prices as well. Their curated assortment of mid-century, modern, coastal, there's industrial, boho. I mean, there's really something for everyone. Their team of designers are all about finding the perfect balance between style, quality, and price. They are dedicated to thoughtful craftsmanship, and it stands the test of time. I mean, I have had that desk in my office for 4 years, and it still looks brand new. Article is offering our listeners $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more. To claim, visit article.com/broad, and the discount will be automatically applied at checkout. That's article.com/broad for $50 off your first purchase of $100 or more. Broad Ideas is supported by Quince. I love Quince so much. I love Quince when we are transitioning from summer to fall because I can get all my new favorite cashmere sweaters at such a great price point. Quince is known for their Mongolian cashmere sweaters from $50. It's not just that either. All Quince items are priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. It also includes beautiful leather jackets, cotton cardigans, soft denim, and so much more. Even home. Like bedding. Okay, how are they able to do that? By partnering directly with top factories and cutting out the cost of the middleman, which passes the savings on to us. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices. And of course, premium fabrics and finishes for that luxury feel in every piece. Get cozy in Quince's high-quality wardrobe essentials. Go to quince.com/ideas for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/ideas to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/ideas. So Ian Toynton was Bones. So he came from the OC. I had to bring that up.
Until you said that.
Yes.
I totally forgot that he worked
Love
on
that
this.
man.
I
Love him.
know.
Love that man
Wait,
so
who
much.
did what?
He was our producing director on the
Oh.
OC, and then he went on to Bones.
And he was like
was
producer
there
director
for so
Bones.
many
for
years.
so many
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
And I saw him recently, and
You
I hadn't seen him in
did?
so long. Yeah, and he's just the
Aw.
same. I know.
I know I saw him. I feel like I saw him at a funeral. That's where I see people.
Yes, that is-
Oh
sadly.
shit.
It's yeah.
We're there?
You
Like-
work with
A
people.
lot of
and
like get crew, like
Yeah.
Oh,
there's been
really?
quite a few
Really?
funerals.
Uncle Hershey.
Yep.
Ryan
He was a
Neal.
driver.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, God, she was the best.
I know.
Yeah. But anyways, I know. Love Ian Toynton.
Love.
I totally forgot that he worked on the
Yeah.
OC.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He worked on the show for many, many years. Maybe from season.
I
Was
feel
it
like
season 2 or 3 he started?
I was gonna
and
say
then
he was there,
it was
I think, when
almost until the end. The last 2 seasons was someone else. He left. He's like, basically like,
he was in my. I think
my
he was-
health doesn't want this pressure. Like,
Yeah.
this is like too much stress for me right now
Yeah.
in my life.
I auditioned for. He was in my audition. Like he was the guy. Yeah.
He oversaw
Aw.
the directing of all the shows.
I'm sure if you saw him, you would be like, oh. Anyway, he's
like
always around.
white.
my
I mean, I
brain.
assume
Yeah,
he also had a
British.
white beard when he worked on the OC
Always
as well.
He's always looked exactly
Okay,
the
that's
same. Even
sounding
seeing him like a few
familiar.
months ago,
White-
still looks exactly the same.
No,
yeah.
he's like
Yes.
Steve Martin, where you
Yeah,
know,
like
that
nothing
person's
ever
never
changes.
not had white hair.
Yeah.
I love that.
But he was
Yeah.
great. He is great, but he was great working with on the show.
So like it's forensics, whatever. Like how? Because it sounds like we love all that kind of stuff, right? So if you're working on
much.
it and you're doing these cases, like, did you get into it like in your real life where you're like, I can solve anything? Like I'm gonna watch every. Like, did you feel like
She has a story. I mean,
oh, you have a story.
what?
Wait, what?
or unless you don't want to share it.
No, you wanna share
you're
it?
talking about the bones?
Yeah.
Oh, the bones.
I just
The bone.
The bones. Well, okay. I'll just talk general and then I'll tell that story.
Okay,
but
okay.
like, I don't feel like I could solve a crime for sure. I could, but I feel like I knew about like the skeletal system. I feel savy.
I would hope so
When my
after-
kids break something, like it's a buckle fracture on the radius. I'm pretty
Oh.
sure. And it was. Well, that's because he had the same fracture on the other arm years before.
wow.
But so I feel like
That was said with so much swag.
right.
Yeah.
I know what it is. Don't worry
it's
about
sexy.
it. We don't need
Yeah.
to see a doctor. Just give him a cast. Just give him a cast or brace. We're good. But yeah, I felt like I learned a lot about that. I never felt like I could solve a crime. I wouldn't say, but I was always interested in forensic stuff before I got the show. Like I remember a friend saying like, "Oh my God, that must be your dream job." And
Right.
it was. I think like over time, sometimes I wasn't like, sometimes you're not as interested in watching something like that when you're doing that
For
on
sure.
the show, and you get desensitized to the disgusting bodies that we dealt with. Disgusting. But
Yeah.
my friend sent me a picture of bones.
I
Is
just
that
think
what you're
this is
talking
funny.
about?
Yes.
Yes. My friend Carmen sent me a picture of bones.
That she had found.
No.
Okay. Oh,
A
someone
friend
else.
of hers.
Okay.
Who now it was like, we'll like just drop everybody.
I know we keep dropping. Go ahead.
Dropping
You're fine.
names.
Yeah,
It was the
you're
Duffers,
fine.
the people who created Stranger Things, the
Oh,
brothers,
okay.
you know, they found bones while digging up for something. I don't know if it was for their office or for a house or something like that.
I thought you meant,
putting,
they're
like-
digging a hole. I'm like, what
like
were
They're
they
like,
putting
doing?
a
are
hole,
these
like-
human?
Yeah.
Oh,
was the
wow.
question. And I had no idea because I am not that good.
But
I'm
the
like,
fact that it
also animal bones look very similar sometimes to, and I was like, can someone put like a foot in there or like a ruler to give some scale to?
But I love that Carmen, like Duffer Brothers, are like to Carmen.
wrote to them 100%. She'll be able to tell you. She had such confidence in you.
Yeah.
But what I do have is Kathy Reichs, who was the author of the books and is a forensic anthropologist herself. So the show Bones was based on the books that she wrote, where she had character Temperance Brennan, which is my character's name. But the show is not just based on her books, because it's different in a lot of ways from her books. But you have the Temperance Brennan character, but it's also based on her life. So like they got the rights to this documentary about her and the right to one of her books or something. I don't know. It's complicated. Have her on speed dial, texted her the photos, and immediately was like, animal.
Oh,
So I may not be able to solve something like
But
that.
you know who
but you
I
got
know
the number,
people who
yeah.
can.
yeah.
Oh
But you got a guy.
God.
I got a guy. I
Yeah.
got a gal. I got a gal.
You gotta go.
She's great. Yeah.
That's a pretty fun one to have on like speed dial. Like literally, I'd be
yeah.
like,
Yeah. I mean,
But I love that that's the route they took instead of like the please.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
like,
yeah,
you know, like
exactly.
I found
like we found bones.
remains. They're
Yeah.
like, I know.
let's ask
Yeah.
Emily.
Yeah.
But what's so funny is they knew she was friends with me, and they
So they
thought
asked her to ask
I
you?
think so.
That's
I think So. They're like,
hilarious.
can Emily solve this? And she was like, 100%. 100% she can solve it.
Can you get
no.
the picture on the wall?
I bet that picture
Yeah.
of those.
No, I want your picture on the wall at the pizza place.
I bet you meant the picture. Oh,
Okay.
I
Yeah,
thought you
she
meant
could
like,
definitely
yeah.
gonna do it.
She could send
Yeah.
her
definitely
your
get the
wall
picture
Yeah.
on the pizza. She would definitely. They would be like, "Oh my, can I put your picture up?"
Get a Bones poster for their office.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's what they want.
That is what they want for sure.
That is
At a pizza
hilarious.
place. See, I always find like, the skill sets you gain, like you're saying, like the gloves, maybe identifying bones. I'm for sure convinced that I can like diagnose people because I played a doctor.
Right.
Like, and barely.
Can
But,
you?
I have. I am kind of impressed where I'll be like, I have trigeminal neuralgia. And like I went and they're like, you do have trigeminal. And I'm like, I didn't even know those words
What is
existed.
that even?
It's like this weird nerve thing in my face. And I was convinced. And I just like did some, and, you just like, and I'm like, I played a doctor. I know these things.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm just convinced.
Do you like those medical mysteries? Like New York Times Magazine?
I don't do those.
Oh, I love them.
Really?
Love them.
Wait, but are they ever, like, are they solved?
Yeah.
Okay.
So only once in a while on New York Times, and we get the New York Times, like the actual paper on the Sundays, and we got LA Times as well. But the magazine is my favorite because they have the ethicists and they answer like ethical questions. Which
I bet you love that.
I love it.
You're like,
so
let me
much.
weigh in on that.
Is it ethical to have a dog in a restaurant? Like it'll be something like
Yeah.
that. But they'll have,
Oh, I like that.
every few weeks, not all the time. It's a real special treat, but they'll have a medical mystery. And then the person who does it had a television show. I don't remember what it was called, where she had a TV show where she did the same thing, where people had medical mysteries that couldn't be solved.
So wait, how does it get
But- and then
solved?
they
Like in
get
the paper?
solved.
Yeah, like it's like, or in the.
Crowdsourcing. She would do crowdsourcing.
Oh, I
for
remember
the
this.
TV
Yeah,
show.
yeah.
She would put it out there to all these doctors and scientists in the world and say, what do you think this could be? And people would throw out different ideas, and then she'd narrow it down. And sometimes it was interesting where it seemed like it was probably this one thing, and people wouldn't want to get treatment for it.
Really?
I don't know if they were like there was a couple episodes where it was like, this is probably what it is, and I don't know if it was because the treatment was uncomfortable or they just like really
Or
in their
new
mind
or
was like,
something.
we're like, no, that's not it. That's not it.
But in the Times Magazine, like, do they, like, you read it and then they give you the answer of what it is right after? Like,
it's in
medical
the thing.
mystery.
It's just 2 pages.
Okay.
It's a real quick. I don't have time.
Okay.
I barely
okay.
can read the newspaper.
Okay,
You know, with the kids.
I mean,
kids
I'm
these days.
watching clips of synchronized swimming. Like, I don't even know that idea. Like, a
Yeah,
paper,
no,
I
I'm like-
can't. No,
I have
absolutely not.
Instagram clips of everything going on in the world, and
Yeah.
that's how I get my
Me too.
information.
Me too.
Yeah, it's totally
So,
that.
Great source.
Yeah.
For facts.
But anytime there's any kind of like, yeah, exactly, any kind of
sometimes
fact.
they have. Good
Sometimes
things
they
and you're
do.
like, I would never know this without that.
No,
Yeah.
but
You
then
know?
there's the things like I didn't even know that existed, and
Yeah.
now I'm totally paranoid and have anxiety because this is gonna happen. So it goes both ways, and I'm like, I can't.
now I know I have this weird nerve thing.
Right.
Like
oh,
that.
yeah.
Like,
no,
yeah.
totally. Or
have
now I
it-
know you can die in this really tragic kind of
Oh.
way, and you have children, and you
Right.
don't want to let them out of the house. Like it's just
Yeah,
this
that's not
constant,
fun.
Too much information.
And when you have old
Yeah.
enough kids, they'll look that up on their own.
See,
They'll be
so
like, someone got decapitated on that roller coaster. And like, where did you find that?
Oh, my
How
God.
do you know
How
this?
old are they
yeah,
now?
how old?
Almost 13 and 9.
Oh, my daughter's 9.
Oh.
She's almost 10. But yeah.
Yeah.
Mine's just, 9 a few months ago. But
Yeah.
I almost have a teenager.
That's crazy.
Well, you have the, because 13, he's just about to turn 13.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's different.
That's different.
How is it?
How old are your kids?
8 and 5.
8
Almost
that
9.
true?
He's almost
Yeah,
he's 9
almost
this
9
month.
and
Okay.
yeah,
Oh,
little.
they're close.
Yeah,
They're close
yeah.
in age. Yeah.
They're like
Oh.
cousins. They're
Yeah.
like family members.
Oh, ours.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, no.
Oh, I was like,
I'm
your
like,
children
they're
are like
brothers.
cousins?
Yeah, I
Oh,
was
that
like,
would be
they're
so-
So
brothers.
I was like, should we talk about that?
Yeah.
Like, is everything okay? Like,
You, I was like, wait, but they're
They're cousins.
No, they're
You know,
literal
they
brothers.
They share
Yeah.
a father.
I'm not that
didn't know
close
that?
with them.
That
but-
would be amazing if they treated each other like cousins.
Yeah.
Ooh, my
Oh,
life
I
would
thought
be
you were
easier.
saying that like
Oh,
the
to me?
their
Oh, that their
were
children
actually
were actually
related,
cousins.
and then they, I don't know.
I mean, that's a
Whatever.
whole other.
We could be all.
That is a
kinds
whole
You
other
could be a whole
podcast on that.
I
Oh,
mean,
we
out
could. And she
there.
does.
Yeah.
She always says, like, if anything happens to her, I do need to take over for her husband and family in
Of
every
course.
way.
Wait,
so,
for her
thank
husband,
you.
if
Yeah.
something happens to her.
You
No,
agree?
No, for her.
No, I
Like,
totally
I
do.
would replace
You
her.
feel that?
Yeah.
Well, because everyone thinks that's
Yes.
psychotic.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Wait, what's
what's
psychotic about it? That if anything happens, that Rachel has to take over the duties of like the household duty, like be your husband, be your partner.
Yeah.
Yes.
No,
Clea-
to her husband.
Oh, to you. Oh.
It shouldn't happen to her.
Oh, I thought it was the other way around. I thought it was if your husband dies that she has. I'm like, Clea is always like, I'll
You
raise those
are-
children with you.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
No.
yeah, you will raise those children with me. Oh, I see the other way.
I'm saying I'm
Okay,
gone.
interesting. You're gone.
You have to take over as
Here's
the
my
wife
question.
and the mom.
Would your
Well, the
husband choose
wife
that?
part of it is a little weird.
Totally weird.
Totally.
part
But
is
that's why I
great.
bring it up. Because
okay.
No, because
she's
here's the
like,
thing,
no,
like-
all the things.
If I were to be,
all the things?
yeah, like
All the things?
yes, she'd have to be the
Oh,
wife.
okay, I don't know about
No,
that.
that's no.
Yeah,
that's
it's weird.
No,
but
that's
here's
weird.
why I like it.
The mom thing is good. No, my husband, I've told him he is not allowed to ever
Remarry?
remarry, have another.
But he's going to.
Never ever go on a
Wow.
date with another woman.
But he
Never.
would. And here's my point.
Okay.
Yeah. There, if you were to be gone,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
They're
yeah.
gonna move on. Like to his life.
yeah.
I
Nope,
want
not
someone.
for
In, I want someone in the home that is going to keep my legacy alive.
Yeah,
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 I
yeah, yeah.
want you
My
well.
pictures
Keep
still
those
on the
pictures
wall.
up. Yes.
I want them to hear the stories, feel
Yeah.
loved and nurtured
Yeah.
and cared for,
Yeah.
and to keep me alive and to keep
Yeah.
like the
Okay.
love there.
But why do you also want him to have sex with Rachel?
Because it's natural. Because otherwise he's going to have sex with someone else
Okay.
that's going to be.
Oh, who come in and infiltrate you?
Yes.
Because of those photos.
Okay.
She knows
She
that
doesn't
I won't.
know, Olivia.
She knows that I
Yeah.
won't care.
Yeah, she'll make.
I'll be like, "Meh."
Fine. You know, she's a really good cook. Like she's a really good. She's a really good nurturer.
She's just getting all of her boys set up.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean,
I want the
that's
best
good.
for my boys.
I think my question is, what does your husband say about this?
I mean, what would he like? What would your
he's
husband say
down.
if I
He's
said I'm
down.
going to
Yeah.
give him Rachel?
He's not gonna say
Absolutely,
no.
absolutely on board.
Yeah, I think he'd be
I
like,
feel
"Great."
very flattered, or maybe offended or flattered. I don't really know which one, but it's
I
great.
like this. This is interesting.
I know it is
The whole
interesting.
thing.
I mean, I like
it.
that
It's
you've gone there.
Yeah,
Oh,
like,
she
you know,
goes there.
I
Yeah.
love them so much.
She'll sit with her
Yeah.
husband,
It's like-
and she will like roll call every friend and be like, "Which one is the most attractive?" Like she will grill
I
him
like
about
to
everything.
know.
Oh my god.
Who do you think is
I
the
You've never
funniest?
played this?
We don't play.
do that.
No, yeah.
No.
She loves
No.
all of
I don't
those.
want to know.
You're probably a
Interesting.
very secure person.
Maybe a little
I'm
bit.
not as secure.
No. Like no, I don't need it. I don't need him
No,
to
you
tell
can
me.
find people attractive. I just don't need to talk to you. About
I
it.
don't even
I don't
really-
Need to, I don't know.
I
I
assume-
can
Yeah.
find people attractive. I don't
Yeah,
need to talk to you
same.
about
But also,
it
we
either.
right. I don't think we need to. That's
Yeah,
the
no,
thing.
you don't want to open it up because
Oh,
then
see, I
in
get
the reverse,
annoyed
you
if
don't
he
want to.
did it.
Yeah.
I'm
Why?
like, you don't think she's beautiful? Like that's
Oh, right. 'cause
offensive.
my friend is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Why would you not?
is he-
yeah,
and
like
he
when
is-
he doesn't, I'm like,
yeah.
that's
And he's
weird.
honest. Like
He is the most honest
The
person
most
you've ever
honest
met.
person I've ever known.
okay.
Yeah.
So he'll be like, yeah, she's very beautiful. Like
Yeah.
I'm very attracted to her, or something like that. Okay. I'm like,
want
is
to have
that
sex
how
with
far
her.
this information? No, like I'm like, I really want to. I want to like get into this.
He doesn't go that far.
Okay,
He'll be
okay,
like,
okay.
of course she's beautiful.
Beautiful. Okay,
or
okay,
of
okay.
course I would think she's attractive. But like he's
Okay.
never like, oh,
Like,
like yeah,
wow.
like I want to,
I
you
want
know.
to hit that.
No,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
the
yeah.
guy-
Okay,
This
okay.
isn't always under the guise of like who will be.
No, who's the
the
replacement?
the
This is
wife.
just
No,
That's Rachel's job.
Yeah,
That's
she knows.
established.
That's
already
okay.
taken.
Established.
taken.
No.
You know?
We know. We all know this.
But then
now.
she's like
Yeah.
super, like she would never be okay if there was ever like a time, you're with someone for 50 years and he's like, maybe just physically I could explore something.
opening up
She's
her
like,
Never,
absolutely
never.
not.
No.
So
Oh,
it's kind of, it's a
interesting.
very
Okay.
interesting, isn't it interesting?
Interesting.
Yeah.
So why do you
Okay.
want to know what he thinks about the list, the women, the friends?
I'm a very curious
She's like,
human.
but she's like that
Okay.
with food too.
yeah.
What do you mean?
You're
Like,
the best. Your reactions. What?
I mean, I'm just,
Like I
know.
want to know what your favorite dessert is. I want to know
She wants
in
to know
what.
when you
okay.
eat something in your mouth,
Like,
like
how
she
does it
really
taste?
enjoys.
You
Like,
right,
how
right.
much
do you
do
want
you
order
like?
everything
Okay,
and
okay.
taste everything? Like if you go out to dinner.
Yeah, I want. I care more about your I want to know what your
experience.
experience
Yeah,
is.
okay.
Oh.
You're inquisitive. You want to.
I'm just curious.
Yeah,
You wanna
yeah.
get into people's minds and
Yeah.
like,
Okay.
experiences and
Yeah.
life. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
That's supposedly a Libra thing.
okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I do. I'm very curious about like what other people are thinking and doing, but I don't know if I'm like, I need to know
No,
what your favorite
I'm-
dessert is, Carla. Like,
Do
I
you
need
know
to
her favorite
No, I
dessert?
don't. I'm not that friend.
No, and that's
I'm not that
okay.
friend
Do
with
you know
any of my-
hers?
literally any of my friends, maybe.
No,
I
mean,
don't think.
it's
I mean,
not
I
like
might
a-
know like what someone's favorite.
I mean, you know, I
wine
think because of like
is.
those dinners, like you would know what certain people would
I
order.
know what you don't want to drink.
Okay.
At
What is
certain restaurants.
I know, that's true. Everyone has to chime in because I
Water.
forget. We eat at the same restaurant, but I can't ever remember if I hated the wine. And so I
Oh.
forever try to
did.
reorder this Riesling
But you
over
also
and
got
over
the
again.
margarita,
And then it was too small. The glass was too small.
Glass was too, that was the
Don't
problem with
charge
that.
me
It was too
$16
small.
on margarita, and then you give me a glass like this, and you put a bunch of ice in it.
Oh.
So I'm also really cheap, but so they will have to.
She's frugal.
Okay,
She likes a deal.
I do like a deal.
Oh, I love a
She's
deal.
loves-
That's fine.
I love a
I feel
deal
you.
too, but she's like, she's
It's
She's
next
looking
level.
for the
Next
deal.
level?
She's really
It's next
good
level.
at it.
It's next level.
Oh,
like if
is
you guys
it?
were like, listen, for coming in today, I would just love to give you these white candles. I'd be like, Mark, I got a white candle.
Yeah.
I went in and they gave me a white candle. Like I just get really like I really enjoy
You won the day.
getting something, getting it for free.
Yeah.
It's a big
better
big
give me
win.
that white candle
I
now.
know.
You
I
can.
mean,
It's going home with you.
yeah. No, I'm okay. I
Absolutely.
I
No,
mean,
like
I take those dried flowers though. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
like walking out with like half the room.
Yeah.
I know. I actually.
Oh, it comes apart.
Yeah.
I thought it was one piece.
Breaking. No, I feel you. I was like in a store today and there was something I needed to buy for my daughter for her lunchbox, but I know it's on sale online. Listen,
Yeah.
it was $20. Like it was not, but I knew it was on sale
$500, but yeah, it's still,
online. And I
So
was
what did you
like,
do?
I didn't buy it because I'm like, well, I can get it online.
I think that's
Oh,
smart.
that is smart.
$17.95 online.
Listen,
I think it's
$3. You
$2
pay for it in
or
shipping, but
whatever,
for
yeah.
some reason, seeing that number felt a lot better.
Well,
I
that's
know.
true. When I went in today to Gelson's to get
Yeah,
feminine
tampons.
products, she was like, "You're going to Gelson's for that? Like you're
Yeah, I
going to
found
be
it
paying
very
for
odd.
Why?
I
Why?
found it very
It's just
odd.
more expensive for
She was
everything."
just running in to get tampons.
But if it's convenient,
That's
she
my thing.
chose-
I'm like, it's cozy, it's convenient, it's right there.
Yeah. But
I
you're,
will put
you're looking
comfort
for
over
her
a deal.
to
But
to get the
your
deal.
time is worth money.
Correct.
That's what I'll tell myself sometimes. I'm like, if I have to drive across town to get a deal of something, but I know closer is something
I will
a little
do
more,
it.
I would get the closer. I'm
There's
like,
also
too.
though the urgency of a
yeah,
situation.
I know the urgency.
Yes.
Potentially, unlike maybe
Yes.
the lunchbox, sometimes there's an urgency there too. But that sounds like it could be
Not
an
the
urgent
same as a
situation.
tampon.
Totally
Yeah.
different.
And that you
kinda
gotta
can't
you
do
gotta
without
get that where you
that.
can
Yeah.
get
right.
it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to the gas station that's across the street.
Oh.
That
But
is
they don't have
directly
tampons,
across
do
the
they?
street.
They
They
do.
do have tampons, but like,
At the
let me
gas
ask you though.
Yes.
Behind the counter.
There's a little aisle with
feel
like
like-
Advil and tampons.
Oh yeah, they have it.
And
Yeah.
they have
But there
tampons.
goes. Like
yeah.
I have a very now. This is another thing I learned on Instagram that apparently even organic tampons have like a bunch of shit in
Yeah.
them, and like,
Yeah,
I
it's so
learned
bad.
that,
you
which
have
is
to be
very
careful what you.
Very
It's
careful.
like watch out. You'll never do anything.
Never,
By the way,
ever.
I know.
Everywhere.
you know what
Yes.
else I learned
What?
that I wanted to tell you the other day because you were like, I'm always afraid of toxic shock syndrome. Someone posted on my, they're like an online mom group that I'm
Yeah.
a part of, no big deal. And someone was like, oh my God, so-and-so's daughter got really sick and they didn't know what happened. And But you know what it was? Because she was a teenager and she was wearing a tampon. She had changed it. They were like, we don't understand. Or she hadn't had it in a crazy amount of time. She had gone swimming in a lake. And if you don't change it right after,
Tampon?
yes, because some of the
Public
bacteria
service
and all that. Seriously, no, that's how I feel. But that's why I'm saying it. I just feel like everyone needs to know: change that tampon after you get out the lake.
Oh my goodness.
I did. Who would have known that?
Not
So she
me.
had toxic
If I
shock.
go in water with a tampon and I come out, like I immediately want to get it out of
Yeah.
me, like just
See,
naturally.
I don't even think about it.
Do you know I go
but I
even
wouldn't
further?
think of the
But I wouldn't
bacteria.
know.
I wouldn't
No.
think of the bacteria.
I didn't
although
think of bacteria. It's just you want it. Yeah.
I did see on Instagram bacteria that could get in your nose and cause some like brain thing.
100%.
A
In
brain
lakes.
eating
Like,
amoeba.
No.
Wait, the
I'm being
amoeba.
targeted.
Wait, get this. Another public service announcement. My brother-in-law's boss wears contact lenses.
Oh.
He was traveling, didn't have contact solution,
Oh,
just
no.
used tap water,
Oh, no.
got an amoeba in his eye and might become blind.
No.
I wear
I've never
contacts.
worn contacts.
I wear contacts.
I mean,
I
I have
wanna
terrible
wear 'em.
vision now, but I don't wear
too.
contacts.
I don't either, but that is.
But good to know.
You all don't wear contacts?
I'm gonna start because I can't see.
Have you had LASIK?
No.
You
But
all
they're
just have.
young. They're young.
No, we're not.
No.
No, we're
No.
not.
Us.
No.
I mean, I've had contacts since like 9th grade. So I've had them
Right.
a long time.
Right.
And
Yeah.
you too? No correction?
I've never. I mean, I technically am supposed to be wearing
Readers?
reading glasses since I was young, but never a terrible prescription, and I would always lose them, so just forgot
Oh my
about them.
God,
But
you all have
after
amazing
42 or
vision.
so,
Can't see.
I mean, I can't read, and then I'm guessing what something
Oh,
says.
yep.
All the time.
Yep.
Like I'll read something or say something to my
I have to do this.
kids.
I have to hold it.
Why
far
not
away.
get
And
readers?
Then
She
it
has
doesn't
them. I think she
become
loses
good enough
them.
at a certain point, and
Oh,
you have to have the
God.
readers, and then you lose the
Because
readers.
she loses them a lot.
Yeah, I need the like old lady chain.
I
I
know.
love
Yes,
a chain.
a
I
chain.
love
You
an
know?
old lady
Yeah.
glasses chain.
How
Like, I
are
want glasses
contacts though?
just
I'm
for
actually
that.
curious
Yeah,
because I really
personally.
want to get them.
I mean, I
should do it.
like them, but similar to you. So what
Yeah.
happens is information gets fed to me,
Yeah.
and then I become obsessed with it. And I did know about the bacteria. And by the way, all summer, last summer, we were traveling
At a
across
lake?
America, and I was like every lake we were in, I was like, oh, don't get it in your nose. Because the lakes are heating up and the bacteria and the
It's
amoebas.
disgusting.
But anyway, contacts,
Is this a new thing because of like?
yeah. Because
Oh,
the
is
lakes
it
are heating
new?
up, and
Or
so the
whatever,
bacteria
climate
is becoming
change?
like a thing. Yes.
I'm hoping because I was in a
Oh.
lake in Canada, like it's still okay.
Canada's colder. I agree with you.
It's so
Canada,
much
everything is okay in Canada. My husband's Canadian, but
Even the people.
the contacts. The only thing is, my husband sent me an article. First, he sent me one about contact lens solution that was being recalled, and was like, so then, and I was like, no, it's not my solution. Okay. Then he sends me an article about that they're like. I like to say contact lenses are made of cancer, but that's not accurate. They're made of like PFA, phthalate. They're made of
no.
like they're made
No.
of like
The
the
stuff you're not
things that we're
supposed
trying
to-
not to put in anything.
Forever chemicals.
And that's what they're made of. So I
Oh.
feel now real crazy about it. And I'm like, well, I have to get LASIK, but I'm afraid to get LASIK because I'm afraid I'll go blind.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
So I'm not sure.
Pretty
What's
safe
the
now,
word?
Do
don't
you
think?
know anyone who's gone blind from it?
No, although someone on the mom group, the husband did have like a botched. It was a whole topic and something she was like, now his eye and like just did it. And so you just have to, I think, be careful where you go.
You spend
You
the
do.
money.
I mean,
Yes.
yeah.
That's what I would
I feel
say.
like
You
with
go
that
to
kind
the
of
top
stuff,
person.
Yeah.
Yes.
100%. And
Yes.
I think in LA, there's good resources.
You want to go to the guy that does like 100 a day.
Yeah, who's like never had a blind.
You know?
Yeah.
You can do that.
There's
If
never
you can do
been-
100 a day.
I think
Yeah.
that they've really got it dialed in now
I think
for the
so,
most
right?
part.
I feel like
I mean, I know my husband had it, my mom had it,
And everyone's cool.
They're great.
How old was your mom when she got it?
She just got it.
She
like
did?
maybe 5 years ago or something, and she's 82.
Did she get like a cataract?
Yeah, yeah,
And then
yeah,
they
yeah.
fixed
My
And
the
they
parents
lens.
did
have had
the
the
lens.
cataract.
Yeah, mine
surgery.
too. Yeah.
you could just do both at once.
Yes, you
just
can. Well,
wait.
the
do lens
optometrist, I asked him, and he was like, "Well, you'll do it once now, and then you'll do it again when you have
Exactly.
cataracts." And I was like, "I just don't like hearing about that."
Does everyone definitely get cataract?
Kind of, yes,
Yeah.
apparently.
Huh.
I
Yeah.
mean, you all get them because my
You
parents
know?
had them.
Yeah, my mom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Something to look forward to.
I feel like at 40, everything just goes,
To
okay.
shit.
Yeah, you just start.
Like done.
Yeah.
Like you can't see anymore. I feel like I can't hear anymore either. I'm like,
Yeah.
what? Let me see. Like I'm like, why am I
Yeah.
so old at such a young
Yeah.
age?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah.
It's
It hasn't hit you
horrifying.
yet.
the holding the things far away.
Yeah.
is my new thing that I can't see.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
little
gets
by
worse.
little. Yeah, everything starts
Yeah.
falling
It gets
apart.
worse.
Also, after having children is when it happened to me.
The vision.
The vision.
Oh.
Interesting.
Well, it's like all the hormonal changes,
yeah.
whether it's kids or perimenopause or all of that, and the like it all affects
It all
everything.
happens.
I,
I
feel
know.
like.
I'm
I
motion
know. I
sick
never
after
even
having
heard
a
of
kid.
perimenopause
really?
until
Yeah,
now.
I never was motion sick until
after
I
kids.
Yep.
was
Isn't that
pregnant,
so
and then I got
weird?
motion sick, and now I'm not like motion sick all the time, but I'm more motion sick than I was
Yeah,
before.
same.
You
Yeah.
have that too?
Really?
Oh, 100%.
I have
I
that
always
too.
was. So
I
don't-
can't watch
nothing
like the
changed.
virtual, like I can't.
Oh,
or
I know.
the
No. I
like the
rides
ride
at
on the-
Universal where you're like, no,
No.
3D. Simpsons ride, I almost like
No. Oh, the
vomited.
That was. I was like, I'll never come
I
back.
can do that.
No.
I cannot.
You can't?
I
But
can't.
those other ones on the like when you're on the tram
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
they do the thing.
Yeah, I have to close
Some
my
of those,
eyes.
yeah.
The King Kong.
Yeah.
Or any spinning.
No,
No,
no, no,
no.
no. Teacups, no.
I used to be able to
No.
spin my
No.
ass off
No.
before kids.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of
Yeah.
it.
I know. What is that? It affects
don't
your inner
know.
ear or something?
It has to be something because it's
Some-
real.
yeah. It
Guys,
is real.
It is real.
We're on to something.
We're on to
We're the only
everything.
people.
You know, can you
realize
tell that
Yeah.
you played a doctor and she also played a doctor? Like the way that they broke that down.
Yeah, it's
And they
real.
got to that conclusion about it.
I don't think I think you broke it down, and I was just
experts.
like, yes.
I know,
Like,
my,
it's
my
something.
character was a PhD, not a doctor.
Oh, is that okay?
To be clear. I mean, I have played psychiatrists who are MDs.
Speaking of
Yeah. Speaking of
yes.
which,
crazy.
We worked together.
yes.
Even though we didn't work together.
But
But,
we-
Right.
we got to share a special credit.
Yeah,
That's right.
special credit
Yeah.
that you were in continue playing a psychiatrist.
Yes,
right?
I played a psychiatrist. And
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah,
You
our
guys.
friend Nadine Crocker, her movie Continue, which is beautiful, and Emily is so fantastic in this film.
Yeah.
And it was just such a funny coincidence because
I know.
I know. And then today
when
we're like,
because
wait,
I just met you guys or
Yeah.
something. When
Yeah,
Nadine told me that
randomly.
you came on to it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I just met those ladies.
yes,
Nadine, first of all, is such an amazing, special person.
Yeah.
I know.
Like so talented. She's an actress. And then wrote this script based on her own experience
Yeah.
and directed it. I mean,
did everything.
did everything. I mean, she is acting in it, directed. I mean, I don't know how she was doing. I watched it happen in front of me, and I
Yeah.
still don't understand how she did it. Like, she's amazing. And
Yeah.
then she's gone on to do other things, but that film just came out.
Yeah,
Yes,
so
it sure did.
beautiful,
So
and your
congratulations.
performance was
Congratulations.
amazing.
And you guys came on to produce it.
Yeah.
yeah,
So cool.
super fun. Yeah,
How do you guys know Nadine? Have you known her for a million years? You knew her for a million years.
So I've known her for a million years. We're both sober. I was her
Right.
first sponsor.
no way.
Yeah.
Like a decade ago,
Like a
right?
decade ago.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I know,
Amazing.
nuts. And then we didn't talk just because of life. Like it was like we got busy with our own lives. And then we had a couple girlfriends on the podcast talking about like follow your dreams,
Manifest,
your intuition,
whatever you-
manifest,
yeah.
listen to your gut. And they were
Yeah.
like, and what's the bigger thing that you want to do? Not the thing you think you want, but what's bigger than that? And the next day I was like, what's bigger? Like, what is it for me? And I was like, I want to create my own things. And so the next day I got like a gut instinct to contact Nadine. Hadn't talked in like 10 years.
Wow.
Pulled the car over 7 a.m. and was like, hey, this is going to sound weird. We haven't spoke, but I would love to pick your brain about writing. And she was like, that's so weird. Your name came up yesterday.
What?
It's another
For
fab,
coaching,
yeah.
because I coach people. And she was like, we have to meet. And so we met and it was just boom.
Yeah.
It was like
Off and
boom.
running,
And then
yeah.
we, brought Rachel on, and it was just one of those things where it was like, oh, you've been in my life, but you haven't.
Right.
Right. And she's just a powerhouse.
Yeah.
Wow. What
Yeah.
a crazy. Like,
so like all of it.
yeah.
It's just
Just that that's where
yeah.
you were like, I want to be creative. I'm going to call her. Like it just, that's
Mm-hmm. Of all
it was
people.
That, it just was
Yeah.
for you, her. Like that is just.
Yeah.
We had
And
so
then-
many weird connections, like even aside from them, like all around us. When
Yeah.
it all was going. It was so bizarre.
It's so.
I know.
Was that the
meant to
first
be.
thing that you guys have
meant to be.
produced?
Yeah.
First movie?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Is it? Yes.
Is it?
Is it? This is how we.
we don't
have
know.
no-
what's-
Unclear.
We're like
Unclear.
goldfish memories. Yes,
Yeah.
it
Unclear.
is.
One
Yeah.
of.
That's
One
amazing.
of the many.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah.
Oh.
What? And also, it's like a very powerful message and beautiful, film.
She
So
always has something. Like she's just trying. She's
Yeah.
just working to make the world a better place.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
yeah,
Does not
heart-
stop.
Yeah.
It's
I
inspiring
know,
to
and
see
she does not
someone
stop. She really
just-
does this. How many people are like, oh, I'm writing a script or whatever?
No, I
and like
know.
people write things and like there's many reasons why things never happen. You know what I
Right.
mean? And like not in their control. But this is a person who like wrote this, was inspired to do this, and was like, I need to do this. I need to write this about my own experience. Wrote this beautiful script, and like it was very thoughtful how she wrote it. I just was really struck by it when I read it. But wrote this and then got it made and I'm like, and then she's like, I'm gonna direct it, playing the main character, like did it all, made it happen, and then has gone on to do other things and is working on new things.
Oh,
and
yeah.
is-
Yeah,
she's unstoppable.
I
Yes.
know.
Yeah.
Well,
don't know
I
how
think
she
there's
does
like a
that.
lesson in that for me is that the one thing that I really admire about her is she doesn't, I think growing up in LA, and I don't know if you experienced this, you were
In
from-
Brooklyn.
in Brooklyn, but I think there's something that happens when you grow up in LA and you're around this kind of world for so long, there's this like, yeah, I don't really care kind of vibe.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like, or I don't want that. Like, I'm cool.
Yeah.
Which she doesn't pretend she doesn't want the things she wants.
Yeah.
And there's something so refreshing. She like leads with honesty in her heart and is like, I want this more than anything. And you're like, wow, you're saying what you want in your heart? Like, that's so cool.
But I think that's true too. Like LA, the three of us grew up in LA,
here,
right?
yeah.
So that is a thing. Because I think it's partly because the industry's here, and it's kind of like partly because we're like, ugh, it's like boring because that's the industry town. But I think also it's scary to say your intentions because, like, what if it doesn't come true?
Exactly.
You know, or I put that out there. It's scary to admit that,
right?
Or all of that. I think it's scary to do. You know,
Agreed.
But she did that and manifested it all for herself.
Right.
Exactly.
I know.
Yeah.
We all can.
And
use
what
those
was that
reminders.
like? I mean, growing up, did you grow up in the industry at all?
Not at all.
No.
Nobody.
Okay, so
nowhere
it was
near
totally
it.
on the side.
But I wanted to be an actress. Like I did a play in second grade and was like,
Done.
yeah. Well, that clapping at the end of the play, and I was
Right.
like, this is the best thing I've ever experienced in my life. I must have this all the time. And then I just knew I wanted to do it and was like, I'm gonna be an actor. 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 And then like went to like LaGuardia, like the famous school, whatever. So, but I had no exposure to it other than
actually
like
wanting to.
yeah. No, I had no. But it is
business, right?
none
Yeah,
at
yeah,
all.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because New York, especially at that time, was like nothing was being made. I'm the girl who like came out for pilot seasons.
Yeah.
I would sleep on Sarah's couch, and I couldn't drive, and so she would drive me to auditions, and she was like, "People did it for me. I'm going to do it for you." And she was the one that was like, "You have to." I was dropped by my agent in New York, and she was like, "You have to come here. Like everything's here. All the shows are here." And that's how I started doing the pilot seasons, is coming out. But I was one of those, you know, those like annoying, like where there's that influx that comes in for the pilot season, like all these actors move into town for like 3 months.
Oakwood Apartments.
Oakwood Apartments. Exactly.
I didn't stay there, but yes, Oakwood Apartments. But never booked one. Never booked one during that period. Not during that period.
Yeah.
Nope, not a one.
But it was a good experience. And you probably realized,
yeah.
I know I lived in New York for a bit, and then you realize like, oh, there is more work for actors here.
Yeah, I mean now it's shifted there a little
Now
bit.
you can be
but
wherever the heck you
it's
want to
true.
be.
Yeah.
and
So
do
cool.
different
It's
things,
moved all over,
which
yeah.
is kind of amazing. I mean, also there's a negative, which is
Nothing
they
shoots here.
will throw out a big net for you.
Yes.
No
So it's like,
kidding.
Oh my
oh,
God.
1,000 people are auditioning
Yeah.
for this thing instead
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
like 20 or whatever.
Or the local
But-
hire of it all. That's a whole
Right,
nother one. Where you're like,
that
but I'm like
part.
perfect for this. Like, no.
No.
The person has to live in Albuquerque. You're
Right.
Like,
I do. That's so weird.
I have a place in Albuquerque.
Yeah.
I can have a place in Albuquerque.
Yeah, exactly. I'll rent an apartment.
I could totally live in Albuquerque.
Yeah,
Totally
exactly.
live there for 2 weeks while I'm doing this.
We have an RV. I could like
You
live in
have an
Albuquerque.
RV?
We have an RV.
That's so
so
fun.
jealous.
It's actually
Oh.
really fun.
Yeah.
It's really
Envious.
fun. It's all the things.
They
It's
take
a lot
the
of work.
summer
Yeah.
and they
That's
just
what I
drop
wanna
it.
do.
We didn't do it this summer because we were in a little more of a time crunch. But last summer, that's all the amoebas in the lakes.
Yeah, the lakes. Yeah.
It was because we were RVing across the U.S. up to Canada, and
my
where my
God.
husband's family is.
What part of Canada?
Toronto.
Oh, okay.
So they have like one of those like the cottages like north
Yeah.
of Toronto. So we're like we ultimately go across and we make our way
But
out.
that's where the lakes I was at in the
Oh, no way.
Muskoka. Yeah.
Oh, Muskoka's
Yeah.
incredible.
I mean, they're all.
They're
they
all
call
a
them
great name.
cottages, but
Those
there's.
Canadian names.
yeah.
I know, right? They're
Is
called
it a house?
cottages, but they're
Cottages.
like.
They're lake houses, but it can run the gamut.
It does run the gamut.
Because sometimes it's a little tiny
little
place.
cottage, and then sometimes it's
Sometimes
like
it's a mega.
$30 mansion like on the lake, and they still call it a
$30
cottage.
mansion?
30 million.
Okay. Yeah.
And they
was
still
like,
call
30,
it
I
a
could do that.
cottage. And I'm
They
like,
do
I
call it
don't
a
know that
cottage.
that's a cottage.
We all could do that.
Yeah.
I got that
It
one.
depends on whether we're
Carla will be
striking.
very excited
Yeah.
about
$30 too steep.
I'm like, listen, Canada guys.
How can we get it for free?
Yeah, how do we-
29.
Yeah, 29 I'm in. But it's so beautiful. I mean, it's the most beautiful.
It is so
Like,
beautiful.
yeah.
Oh yeah, it's so much
Yeah.
fun. I was not so worried about the
No, not
brain-eating
I'm telling you,
amoebas.
in Canada, no. No.
I don't
the
feel like they're
amoebas are
Canadian
not there.
amoebas.
It feels cleaner. It feels cleaner.
It just
on a
felt,
certain level.
yeah, it
Yeah.
just felt
The cold
okay.
freezes things out.
Yes, kills them.
Yeah. That's what we're
Also, I
going
think
with.
they're like test. I just feel like up there, like they're very careful with their milk. Like they're like,
Oh,
well, the
yeah.
milk can't have this in it or that. We tested it. It can't
so you don't
come
even
from
have to
this.
buy organic milk because
Right.
it's all
Right.
already-
okay.
So I feel like the lakes are the same. Like I feel like they're like, we test
If
these
we had to
lakes
compare it to something,
Yeah.
we're comparing it to the milk.
milk. Okay, exactly.
Milk
The
scares
lakes
me.
to the milk.
The lakes
lakes and
and
the
the
milk.
milk are what you go to Canada for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of true. No.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. But
That
it
is
is
funny.
It's so true. This whole conversation, I feel like we covered everything.
We-
from
we-
milk
From
to
Canada
like
To tampons.
to tampons
Yeah.
I
to
mean,
LASIK.
to literal bones.
Yeah, literal bones.
LASIK.
yeah, medical mysteries.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys.
we did it.
all here.
I think we did it.
I think we really did it. So boneheads,
Yeah, tell us.
drops,
September
September 18th.
18th.
That's right now.
or has dropped September 18th. I don't
Yeah,
know when
it
this is
will
don't know.
have dropped. It's already dropped.
It has
September
dropped.
18th.
It dropped so hot. It was like it was hot, right?
It's like it was hot.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. This was
Thank
so much
you.
fun.
So much fun.
I knew it'd be fun, but
I know, I
Yeah,
did.
it was
of
even more fun
course.
than I thought.
Guys, hi.
What did you have your hair done for?
What do you mean? I just did it.
You did it?
Yeah.
Did you have a date or
You
something?
put the waves?
Yeah, because it was natural, you know?
Yeah.
And you know how I feel if my hair's just natural?
Turn to the side.
I
and
have
then you did like
twisties.
a little twisty and a little
A
thing.
little twisty and a little pony and I did a little thing.
Sound like you're about to sing a loop.
I know. I was going to do a na-na-na-na-na-na. What song is that?
then I saw your best
No.
friend.
Mambo number
So
5.
Olivia and I have a song from when we were in our late teens, early 20s.
We made up.
Because I got high? Was that?
No.
No.
That was the melody of what you just sang.
Yeah, but that wasn't it.
Kind of, but no. But then I saw your best friend.
We'd be like, I really like you and I really want to get to know you and I want to be with you.
But then I saw your best friend. There was a time in my youth where I was way more interested in the best friend than the man.
Yeah.
That happened once.
But then I saw
But
your
then
best friend.
that's why we made that song up,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. But then I saw your best friend. And then
It's
I
a
dated
really
the
good
best friend.
song.
I dated
Sounds
the
great,
best friend. What?
Sounds
It's like,
great.
yeah, it sounds great.
I dated the best friend.
I'll
Oh,
believe
did you
that too.
ever?
What's that supposed to mean?
I have a question
Okay.
because I've been out of the loop for so long. If you're starting to date someone,
Mhm.
because I hear this so much, like when people that come on, we talk to tons of people and they're always like, oh, this whole love bombing thing. What do you guys think that actually means? And what do you think the flags are for it? Like, what is the difference between someone just like pursuing you and being really attentive?
Like, how
and
can you tell the
cool?
difference between genuine or love bomb?
Yeah.
I mean,
What would be the
Rachel?
flags?
I
What-
only have one example.
That's not true.
No, I meant I only have like my example is love bombing, not genuine.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
So I couldn't tell you how to tell the difference.
So that anytime someone is nice and coming on genuinely, you that's not
I will
worked
say,
Have you ever been love bombed?
absolutely.
Do you like how I ask it like I don't know the answer?
Yeah. I do think it's interesting because I think everyone has their internal dialogue and like whatever that goes on inside. And I definitely have like flags that are raised if someone's coming on too strong or things like that, where I'm like, this feels like, do you like do this all the time? You know, like
Right.
that's what comes up inside me.
feels less genuine to you if it happens too quickly.
Yes. But then the people like just keep going with it and
Mhm.
like don't give up on this fucking narrative that they're fucking spitting at you.
Yeah.
And you're like, and I keep going against it. Like you keep pushing back and pushing back and pushing back. Like
What is
Wait,
pushing?
wait.
What is pushing back?
just not going for it,
Not
falling
engaging.
for it,
Well,
not
also,
engaging.
yeah, not falling for it and being like, I am the most special person on the planet. Like, there's a little bit of like, do you say that to other people?
That's the constant
kind of
internal
thing.
dialogue. Do you say this to other people? I guess you
Mhm.
could also call it walls, right? Like there's like all these walls up for whatever past experiences. And like these walls are there. And part of that is just keeping the person out. Like you're saying this and this and this, and it's really compelling at times. And you're like,
'Cause
wow,
you like
that's
hearing-
really, I will say my biggest fault is like, I'm a fucking like romantic at
Hope
heart.
to die romantic.
Because of the movies I watched as a kid. I'm like, that's how it's supposed to happen. And like, fucking serendipity. The phone number's going to be in the fucking book. And like, you're going to find each other, you know? Like,
yeah.
that's like at my core, I have that inside me. Like, I'm like, no, my life is a movie. Like, this is the love story. So I think for me, like when it comes at you more and more and more, finally you're like, well, it exists in the movies. Like, maybe it is real.
Yeah.
Does it require it to go south at the end for you to have it be a love bomb? Like when you're in it, does it feel like a love bomb or it just feels like you're connecting with this person?
No, when I'm in it, I'm definitely the entire time, almost the entire time, I will say. Like, do you say this to everybody? Like there are all of those going on constantly. But there comes a point where I will say, like, where you're like, fuck, well, they're not letting up. They're being really nice.
Mhm.
Friends are like, go for the nice, right?
Yeah.
So you get to a point where you're finally like, okay, this seems like the healthy decision. This seems like the right decision. They are being so sweet,
Mhm.
so loving, so supportive. And you fight back, and then you finally get to a point where you're like, well, I'm going to fucking get in that ring. Like,
Yeah.
okay, let's see.
I think something happens when you're experiencing relationships that haven't worked.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of outside noise of like, I think people tend to point to the issues that one has. Like, well, maybe you're not giving good guys a try, or
Mhm.
you're not doing this, or you're not doing that. So I think there's a lot of convincing of oneself
Mm-hmm.
to like buy into something, even if it doesn't feel right, because you think, well, the past things felt right and those sure weren't.
Right.
So I'm going to try something different.
Right.
And
I will say something else I've noticed
Yeah.
about myself is if I'm trying to convince myself, like
Yeah.
while in it, I'm not really in it. Like I'm trying to convince myself, no. Yeah, no, I really like him. No, I'm really attracted to him. Yeah, like, no, I can do this. Sure, you can hold my hand. Like what? Like, but convince. That sounded crazy.
Yeah.
But like,
It doesn't feel organic. You're having to
Right.
talk yourself into
it's like a
feeling
mental
comfortable
dialogue.
with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
How aware of it are you while it's happening?
Totally aware. Like, I will say, I have a lot of awareness, but like I said, it gets to a point. If someone, anything, think about this in life, right? Is coming at you like this, nonstop, consistent, at a certain point, you're going to break down in anything though.
Right. It's all hard.
Well, yeah.
Right?
But you know what I'm saying though? Like if someone finally get to a point like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
I'm not saying in every circumstance.
I think a lot of times too, when you have a history of relationships not working out, you tend to think that you're doing something wrong. So you want so much to do the right thing and make the right choices.
Right. Instead of listening to myself.
And you're
Yes.
willing to make concessions.
Right.
Correct.
Instead of listening to myself. I fucking know. You know? Like if I really listen to myself, if I'm trying to convince myself the whole time.
When it's right, wrong, whatever, I don't even like that narrative of like something's right or wrong.
Right.
But when it's a relationship that is for you, you're never going to have to convince yourself to be comfortable
Right.
with someone holding your hand or someone
Right.
liking you that much. You're not going to be like, this feels weird.
If someone like goes to hold my hand and I feel like
Physically repulsed.
if I
Feel
instantly
like
want
vomiting.
to if I instantly want to like pull away, I feel like that is a sign.
Yeah, it is a sign.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a sign. You should never have to feel that way. And everyone, I think, has been in that situation where we're like not listening to that inner voice. It's like a no.
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, well, he's or she's, let me try something different.
Let me try.
Which I respect trying something different.
Yeah.
And I think for a lot of females, I don't know if this is true for men, but I know for a lot of females, historically, we have a history of liking bad boys or unavailable men or something we can't have. And so when someone really nice comes along, there's like you should try that.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's foreign the whole time.
Yeah.
But there are nice guys that aren't going to feel foreign. It's just they're nice.
Yeah.
And you're not going to,
Do you ever get frustrated? Not with Rachel.
Hypothetical friends?
Hypothetical friends that you watch kind of go through the same
of course
cyclical mistakes and relationships.
The one thing I get frustrated with friends,
not Rachel,
but with anyone, and especially coaching people and stuff, I have my own patterns that I have had a really hard time breaking and still are working on breaking. So I fully understand it, and I
sympathize with it.
I have an immense amount of empathy for it, because I think patterns are really hard to break when 90% of our life is lived through our subconscious, when our programming was done a long time ago. It's very hard to break those patterns. However, the part I get frustrated with is that I do have some tools, and I'll offer them and suggest them. And if people keep doing the same thing and don't pick up the tools that are being offered, that's when I get frustrated. Like, hey, I'm telling you there's a way out of this.
Yeah.
Maybe try these things. That can be frustrating. But the whole pattern part isn't frustrating, because I do know how hard it is to change.
And when you're searching for something out of like vulnerability and purity.
Well, that's why I'm saying it's pure-hearted. When people, like, when there's mistakes and patterns, and like when you see someone making choices, even if it goes with their pattern or whatever it is that you wish they would wake up from, if they're doing something different in it and they're trying something new and it goes south, it's still great that they put themselves in that situation and tried something different and didn't walk into the same exact trap.
Right. And I think the point I was trying to make was that it's like such a pure endeavor that they're attempting. It's not like they're trying to get rich and famous over and over again and failing and making the same mistakes. Like that is a more like egotistical.
Yeah. It's a heart-centered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where you're watching this person, you want them to succeed in this thing and you want them to find
you're rooting for them.
You're rooting for them, yeah.
Have you ever seen any cases of love bombing? Like, have your friends or anyone where you're just like, because Jeff is like a good barometer of it. Like, no matter what, if I'm like, oh, so-and-so started dating this person and they said this and that, he'll be like, I'm like, why? That's great. And he'll be like, oh, it's too soon. It's too much.
I do have an example of one of my best friends who's in a newer relationship, well, like over a year, who like had somebody who was like so nice, like so full on from the get-go, but it was consistent and genuine.
Yeah, I was going to ask that. Is it ever,
like,
is love bombing ever been a good thing?
But that's not love.
But it's
being
not love
nice
bombing
and consistent is different than love bombing.
Because if it's...
Well, is love bombing...
It's interesting. I don't know.
Love
Does it
bombing,
mean it's not true?
Yeah.
Is it lies or is it just...
Yeah, it's lies. It's not true. It's going further than is true. It's like, you're the person of the... Like, you don't know that yet.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't even... Being nice and consistent and being an awesome guy and showing up and being interested and attentive, that's not love bombing. Love bombing is like, you are it and all of this, and let me show you and introduce you to the fucking family and fly you to Italy, and you know what I mean? Like, that's love bombing.
Right.
So it's different than kind, consistent, attentive.
Right.
I think someone, though, could still love bomb at like a lesser scale and it still be the same. Like if the last time you were love bombed, just like scale it back slightly, it'd still be love bombing, even if like the words weren't as aggressive or as grandiose?
I think it's when someone's in fantasy.
Mm.
That's what I think it is, where there is a level of fantasy at play that is not based in reality.
Yeah, I think having been in experiences where, someone can be that way, I think that there are truths in some of it, but I think the level of intensity and is what the love bombing is.
That's what the love bombing is.
Yeah.
You can have a feeling about someone. I mean, I knew right away.
Yeah.
I knew right away.
Yeah.
Jeff was my person.
Right.
So you still had those like wild delusional fantasies. You just
100%.
I knew right away.
I didn't execute them. I didn't say to him, "You're my person,"
No, of course
and you're
not.
gonna. You know
That's
what I
a
mean?
perfect example because I knew right away. The last time I knew right away turned into an 11-year relationship.
That's what I'm saying. So I don't think it's that it's not true, but the grandiosity of it is based in fantasy.
Right.
You know?
I don't know that I don't know if I'm on the same page as that. Of just like your ability to exercise restraint is the only thing that doesn't turn it into love bombing.
Yeah, because you get to know them and you see if it's accurate.
Sure, but if the like same mental leaps are being made between two people and one is just not expressing it and the other is like, I'm going to internalize this.
One's going to coffee and one's moving in with each other. Those are two vastly different approaches to the same feeling.
I'm always the one going for coffee.
What? You get what I mean, though?
Yeah.
It's like you can have a feeling on someone and be like,
but you keep it inside
until you can measure that you're right.
And that you feel the same way.
Yeah. I'm not saying they should love bomb. I'm just saying I don't know if taking those same leaps is any more healthy than the person love. I mean, it's more healthy, but it's still like you're making those jumps mentally.
I will say the number one red flag for everyone listening, if you're like even like after a first date or whatever and someone is coming so hard for you.
Yeah.
They don't know you yet.
They don't know you yet.
I feel like that's a red flag. The intensity is the red flag.
But it's just the restraint, though, that they can't restrain themselves from
but I will say,
the
it's hard.
But that shows something.
But it's hard to tell the difference because I do want to believe in like love at first sight and all that shit. Like I want to believe that could be true.
I believe it could be true.
Yeah. But it's like after experiences where like there's such a level of intensity like so early on.
So how do you know?
Right. So what's the lesson?
I think the way you know the difference is that internal gut instinct.
Yeah, it's always right.
That's always right.
Yeah.
Sometimes our gut leads us to experiences that aren't great for us. And here's why I think that's important. I've had gut experiences where I'm like, I know I am going to have something with this person.
Right. Totally.
There's no talking me out of it.
Right.
It is a instinctual gut decision. Mm-hmm. Some of the biggest lessons in my life have come from that.
From your gut.
Interesting.
So sometimes our guts can lead us into tricky alleys.
Right. But
or porta potties.
But sometimes our lessons are in that porta potty. And had we not gone into that porta potty, we wouldn't know the information we needed to gather for then when it is the right relationship. You see?
Mm-hmm.
So it's all about trusting your gut. If you feel like it's too much, it's too much.
Yeah, 100%.
I think the point I was trying to make was just that it's potentially still a red flag if the person's thinking it and still not expressing it.
Yeah, but how do
you think
know?
It was a red flag for Jeff that I internally knew and he didn't know? He didn't know I knew that.
Well, I guess
for
to
a long
me,
time.
like that's the same criticism that you're giving to someone love bombing, that they don't know them well enough.
Right. But that's why
I didn't do that, which you didn't know him well enough at that point.
No, it was just a feeling, but that's why I didn't take action on it.
But the only difference then is that person didn't have the restraint to be like, I'm going to let this feeling just be a feeling and not act on it.
That's called maturity and self-regulation. If someone doesn't have self-regulation, that's a red flag.
Here's a question.
I'm not.
Here's a question.
Do you think I'm saying that that's not a red flag when someone loves bomb? Because that's not what I'm saying.
You're like, I fucking like it. Okay, I like it.
No. I'm saying that's equally flaggy.
Yeah.
I think.
Do you think love bombing and addiction go hand in hand?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do too.
100%. People are addicted to that feeling too. You get those dopamine hits, you get all that stuff. And then when reality starts to hit and you realize the person isn't on a pedestal or these fantasies aren't giving you those hits in your brain, then it's time to come down. It doesn't feel good. And then you got to find another hit.
Right.
That's not a good situation.
No.
You know?
Nope.
Nope.
Sure
not going to
isn't.
do it.
Nope. Not going to do it.
Have you ever been addicted to a person?
I don't know. I'm still stuck on this.
What?
What are you stuck on?
At this point, all you're saying is like the person you're pursuing has restraints or not. Restraints on their feelings. If you're saying like
they have an ability to measure what they're feeling with reality.
Right. But what you're saying is having the feelings that they have isn't the issue. It's the fact that they can't regulate it and restrain themselves from it.
That's what I think.
I'm
not an expert on love bombing.
Thing though that you think wrong with love bombing is they can't keep it to themselves.
No, it's not the only thing.
Or that's the only difference between.
I think the grandiose nature of it is self-serving. I think it's fantasy-based. And I think it's really harmful to people. I think a lot of the people that are on the other end of love bombing, that it's actually super damaging because it makes them feel like they can't trust themselves anymore. So I don't think it's the only red flag that they can't regulate themselves, but it's also the one thing that I've seen as a common denominator is there's such a pushiness with it that it's like, I will push and convince you that this is real to the point where I will break you down and make you believe it's real. And then once you do, I'm going to go.
Yeah.
That's psychotic.
I'm not saying it's not. Again, that has never been my stance.
I know, but you asked if it was the only red flag, and I'm saying no, this part too.
Well, that's why I wanted the clarity on. Because to me, like, it's still, both of those are coming from the same place. But
what do you mean?
Of like you meeting someone and being like, this is going to be my husband right away. Like, that's love bomb energy. But you knew better that you couldn't express yourself that way that early.
I knew I wouldn't have kept him if I said that. Because it's not sane.
No.
Right.
You know? And
that's...
I had to practice sanity. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, sanity is a practice for me. It's not like a natural thing.
Right.
I had to literally have my sponsor walk me through every step of my relationship in the beginning to not sabotage it.
Right.
That's just me.
Well, you guys, we really bombed this post.
Dang, girl.
Thanks, guys, for listening. Ta-ta for now.